Blinded by beauty, I was a simp. There, I said it. Blinded by desire, my world revolved around her. She was ethereal, with eyes that held the secrets of the universe and a laugh that could make the stars dance. I was putty in her hands. I met Lilith at a coffee shop. She was reading Baudelaire, her dark hair cascading over the pages like a raven's wing. Our eyes met, and in that instant, I was lost. I bought her a coffee, stammering through our introduction. She was everything I had ever desired, beautiful, intelligent, and mysterious. I was smitten. She was an intoxicating enigma. I couldn't get enough of her. Our dates were filled with whispered secrets and stolen glances. She introduced me to a world of art and literature I never knew existed. I was drowning happily in her love. A shell of my former self, I started changing for her. I abandoned my hobbies, my friends, my life. All that mattered was Lilith. I dressed for her, talked for her, lived for her. My friends warned me. They saw how she was consuming me, but I brushed them off. I was blinded by love, or so I told myself. My apartment, once a sanctuary of my personality, became an altar dedicated to her. Her favorite flowers, lilies, choked every surface with their cloying perfume. Her favorite color, midnight blue, draped my windows, casting an eternal twilight across the room. I was losing myself, but I didn't care. I was hers. My reflection in the mirror became a stranger. My eyes, once bright with laughter, were now hollow and haunted. My skin, once tanned and healthy, was now pallid and drawn. I was a ghost, a shadow of the man I used to be. The price of desire. Then came the OnlyFans. She was an artist, she said. She needed to express herself. I hated it. The thought of other men ogling her, lusting after her, filled me with a primal rage, but she was adamant. It was her art, her freedom, and so I caved. The money started rolling in, expensive gifts, lavish vacations, designer clothes. She had it all, and I, the fool, basked in her reflected glory. I was her provider, her protector, her pawn. My health began to deteriorate. I wasn't sleeping. Nightmares plagued me, visions of writhing bodies and blood-red eyes. Strange bruises began to appear on my body, marks that I couldn't explain. I felt a constant pressure on my chest, a suffocating weight that made it hard to breathe. I was withering away, both inside and out. Whispers in the dark. One night, while Lilith was sleeping, I found it. A hidden folder on her phone, locked behind a password I knew all too well. My birthday. My heart pounded in my chest, a drumbeat of dread. This was wrong. This was forbidden. But I couldn't resist the temptation. I had to know. The videos were unlike anything I had ever seen. They were dark, disturbing, filled with whispers of ancient rituals and sacrifices. Lilith, my Lilith, moved with an unnatural grace, her eyes glowing with an infernal light. She chanted in a language I didn't understand, but it sent shivers down my spine. The air grew heavy, thick with the stench of sulfur and decay. The room seemed to pulsate around me, the walls closing in. I felt a presence, cold and malignant, watching me from the shadows. Fear, raw and primal, gripped my heart. The videos were just the beginning. The nightmares intensified, becoming more vivid, more terrifying. I would wake up in a cold sweat, the taste of copper and fear lingering in my mouth. I saw flashes of Lilith, her face contorted in a mask of rage, her voice a guttural growl. One night she spoke to me in my dream. Her voice, usually sweet as honey, was a rasping hiss, like serpents slithering over broken glass. "You shouldn't have seen that," she whispered, her breath hot on my neck. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. I was paralyzed, trapped in my own personal hell. I woke up with a gasp, my heart hammering against my ribs. The room was spinning, and I could barely breathe. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. Staring back at me was a stranger, his eyes wide with terror, his face etched with a fear I couldn't comprehend. I started researching, desperately seeking answers to the horrors I had witnessed. Ancient texts, forbidden websites, whispered rumors in dark corners of the internet, all pointed to one horrifying truth. Lilith, my love, my life, was a succubus, a demon who fed on the life force of men. The realization hit me like a physical blow. All the signs, all the red flags I had so willingly ignored, suddenly became glaringly obvious. The strange bruises, the nightmares, the videos, it all made sense now. I had been blinded by my desire, led astray by a creature of darkness. I had to get away. I had to escape her clutches before it was too late. But how? She had a hold on me, a power that I couldn't explain. I was trapped, a fly caught in the web of a spider. One night, I woke to find Lilith standing over me. Her eyes, usually so full of warmth, were cold and calculating, like chips of obsidian. She was chanting in that same guttural language, her voice a low hum that vibrated through my bones. I tried to move, to speak, but I was paralyzed. My body felt like lead, heavy and unyielding. I could only watch in horror as she produced a wicked-looking athame, its blade glinting in the moonlight. "Don't worry, darling," she purred, her voice a terrifying mix of seduction and menace. "It'll all be over soon." The athame plunged towards my chest and everything went black. Blood and bone! I woke up on a stone floor, my body racked with pain. The air was thick with the smell of incense and blood. I tried to sit up, but a searing pain shot through my chest, forcing me back down. Looking down, I saw a gruesome symbol carved into my chest, still oozing blood. I was in some kind of chamber, the walls lined with candles that flickered ominously in the darkness. Strange symbols and diagrams were etched into the stone, pulsating with an eerie, otherworldly light. I could feel a presence here, something ancient and evil watching me, savoring my terror. Lilith stood before me, a triumphant smirk playing on her lips. She was dressed in a flowing black gown, her eyes blazing with infernal power. "Welcome back, darling," she said, her voice dripping with venom. "Did you enjoy the show?" "The pact. What have you done to me?" I croaked, my voice hoarse and weak. "I've bound you to me, darling," she cooed, kneeling down beside me, body and soul. She ran a finger across my cheek, her touch sending a shiver of fear down my spine. "You're mine now, forever." She explained that the ritual, fueled by my life force, had bound us together. I was her anchor to this world, her source of power. She needed me alive for now. My blood, my fear, my very essence sustained her. Despair washed over me, cold and suffocating. I had been a fool, blinded by lust and manipulated by a creature of darkness. Now I was trapped, bound to her for all eternity. The mark. The symbol carved into my chest burned constantly, a searing reminder of my fate. I was a prisoner in my own body, my will slowly being eroded by Lilith's dark magic. She reveled in my torment, my fear her sustenance. She showed me my reflection in a tarnished silver tray. The man staring back at me was barely recognizable. My skin was ashen, my eyes hollow and lifeless. The symbol on my chest pulsed with a sickly green light, a brand that marked me as hers. "Don't fight it, darling," Lilith whispered, her lips brushing against my ear. "Embrace the darkness, become one with me." Her words slithered into my mind, planting seeds of doubt and despair. Her message. Today, I woke to an empty bed. Lilith is gone. The only evidence of her presence is the lingering scent of lilies and sulfur in the air. On my phone, a single text message flashes on the screen. It's from Lilith. "Don't worry, darling, I'll be back for you soon. We have so much more to do." A chill runs down my spine, settling deep in the pit of my stomach. I am left alone, trapped in this waking nightmare, dreading the day she returns.